The 2024 NHL Stanley Cup Final is set, and it's time to see what NHL 24 has to say about it. Hello everyone, Data here, and welcome to our annual simulation of the Stanley Cup Final here on EA NHL. Starting off in playoff mode, it's the Florida Panthers facing the Edmonton Oilers in what's going to be an incredible series in the real world. The Florida Panthers, playing in their 30th season, find themselves in just their third Stanley Cup Final, but they're second in as many years as they lost last season to the Vegas Golden Knights. They face off against the Edmonton Oilers, who are trying to win the first Stanley Cup by a Canadian team since 1993, and their first own Stanley Cup since 1990, which would be their sixth in franchise history. To start off playoff mode here on NHL 24, injuries will be turned off. That's the one thing I'll tell you, but the lines will be set as properly as possible according to Daily Faceoff, at least for even strength, power play, and penalty kill, giving us a Florida squad that looks like this: Verhaeghe, Barkov, and Reinhart on the first line for the Panthers, 88, 92, and 91 overall respectively. On the second line, Matthew Tkachuk at a 93 overall, with Sam Bennett and Evan Rodriguez both at an 84. On the third line, look at this depth, it's Tarasenko at an 86 overall with Lundell and Luosterainen. On the fourth line, Lorentz, Stenlund, and Okposo. On defense, Florida has the top pair of Forsling and Ekblad. Montour and Mikkola have the second pair, and rounding off is Ekman Larsson and Kulikov, 84 and 81 respectively, down at the third pair role. Sergei Bobrovsky at an 87 starting, backed up by Anthony Stolars. And as I mentioned, power play and penalty kill also appropriately set. In Edmonton, the overalls may not be quite as high, but 97 overall Connor McDavid, 94 overall Leon Draisaitl. McDavid with 31 points through the first 3 rounds, leading the NHL. Nuge, McDavid, and Hyman make up that top line for the Oilers. Perry, Draisaitl, and McLeod on the second. Holloway, Henrique, and Kane on the third. Brown, Ryan, and Janmark on the fourth. Defensively, it's Matthias Ekholm with Evan Bouchard having an out-of-this-world postseason himself on the top pair. Kulak with Nurse on the second, and Broberg with Ceci on the third. And between the pipes, it is Stuart Skinner at an 85 overall, backed up by Calvin Pickard. So when you think about the game that's been played so far in the real world, the Oilers definitely have the scoring edge, as 4 of the top scorers through the first 3 rounds are from the Edmonton Oilers, and Matthew Tkachuk with 19 points would be the 5th highest scorer on the Oilers. That's really saying something. When it comes down to the goaltending, though, Bobrovsky has the better goals against average, 2.2 versus Skinner's 2.5. The better save percentage, 908 versus Skinner's 897. So see how gets taken into account when it goes into the simulation. So with the stage set, let's get right into the simulation. When we ran it last year with the Panthers versus the Golden Knights, the Panthers won the Stanley Cup in a 7-game series according to NHL 23. So now on NHL 24, we'll see if the game has learned from its mistakes. At the very beginning of the postseason, NHL 24 told us that the Canucks would beat the Bruins to win the Stanley Cup, and neither team made it out of round number 2, so here we are. But all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, Game 1 of the 2024 Stanley Cup Final here in Florida. Let's run through the simulation and see what the game has to say and what kind of storylines are going to come up along the way. Injuries turned off, but everything else is going to be running all the way through. First period of Game 1 in Florida, and the Panthers take an early lead with Tarasenko opening up the scoring, and then Alex Barkov making it 2-0, as the Panthers are outshot 15-12, but lead 2-0 after 20 at home. Second period, and it is now still 2-0. Excuse me, I thought a goal might have been scored on the power play, but no, the Oilers held it down. All right, shots are 23-19. Oilers still lead, but Edmonton down by 2 goals here in the third period on the road after, winning Game 6 against the Stars, being outshot by triple. Now they're the ones leading in the shots. They're giving up penalties, though. Power play Florida, that's killed off halfway through the third. Power play Oilers, now that lethal power play killed off by the Panthers. 5 minutes to go, still a 2-0 game. Sergei Bobrovsky putting on a show here at home. Final minute, and that'll be all she wrote, as Aaron Ekblad adds the empty netter, and Sergei Bobrovsky, my goodness, puts up a 37-save shutout in Game 1 at home for the Panthers to win 3-0, despite only having 29 shots. Stuart Skinner looked good, but the scoring couldn't get it done in Edmonton. I think that's definitely going to be a question. As high octane as the offense is for the Oilers, could Sergei Bobrovsky snuff out that flame? So there's Game 1 going Florida's way. I know it says West and East. Don't worry about that at the bottom. It's because the game gives home ice advantage to the Western Conference team. So I had to put Florida as the Western Conference team so that it could be accurate for whatever you want to think about. When we go into the game later on, we want to see accurate home and away scenarios. So Game 2 now back in Florida, of course. Could the Panthers take a 2-0 series lead, or could the Oilers even it out after being shut out in Game 1? They'll want to come out firing on all cylinders. First period, and it's 0-0 after 20 shots, 11-10 for the Panthers. Second period, Corey Perry scores the first goal of the Stanley Cup Final for the Oilers. 49 seconds in, in his 5th Stanley Cup Final, but Luosterainen and ties it soon after. Lets him through the second period, and it ends 2-2 as Sam Bennett on the power play gave the Panthers their first lead of the game, but then Kane evened it back 3.5 minutes or so after that. Shots are 21-16 for the Panthers through 40, but this game's all tied up at 2. Corey Perry, though, with his second of the game, Mr. Stanley Cup Final, putting the Oilers up by 1 now, 3-2 Edmonton. Make it 4 as Darnell Nurse, who was ragged on a lot in the last couple series, especially against Dallas. Powerplay Oilers again, this time killed off. They have a 2-goal lead. Will it be enough with 5 minutes to go? The Panthers pushing hard. They're leading the shots, but not by as much. Now back to even, and the Oilers will put it to bed as Nurse scores his second, and it's on the empty netter. 5-2 Edmonton the final. 2 goals from Perry, 2 goals from Nurse, and 28 saves from Stuart Skinner to even this series at 1 as the Oilers win 5-2 on the road, headed back to Edmonton now for game number 3. All right, it was an exciting start on both ends, 2-2 after 2 periods, but the Oilers pulled it out in the third. How will the Panthers respond heading into game 3 now on the road in Edmonton? It's going to be going crazy here for the Oilers with their first Stanley Cup Final in almost 2 decades. First period, and it's 1-0 Panthers. Sam Reinhart opens up the scoring. Shots 12-7 Edmonton after 20. Second period, now 2-1, big comeback from the Oilers in their home arena. Evander Kane ties it, and then soon after, Zach Hyman with his league leading, what's that now? Probably that'll be his 15th goal. Shots are 25-14 for the Oilers, and it's 2-1 Edmonton after 40. Panthers power play to start the third period. That's killed off by Edmonton, and they're going to maintain their 1-goal lead 5 minutes into this period. They're further expanding their shot difference, and there's Leon Draisaitl, his first goal of the series. 3-1 Oilers as the Panthers seem to be slacking here in this third period. Down by 2 with 5 to go and not getting almost anything on net. Hold on, Aaron Ekblad with one of their only shots in the last 5 minutes. Final seconds. Whoa, what was that? A 5-on-3 power play. Hold on a second. The Oilers win 4-2. What was this? So Kulikov takes a holding minor with 51 seconds left, and then Stenlund holding the stick with 21 seconds left. So there was a 5-on-3 in the final 20 seconds, and Bouchard scored. 4 to the final shots, and it was an empty netter, actually. It was a 5-on-4. Shots end 37-24, and the Oilers had a big 4-2 victory. Draisaitl a goal and an assist. Reinhart with a goal. Ekblad that late goal on one of those few shots towards the end of the third period. But it was not enough, and after going down 1-0, the Oilers storm back and win games 2 and 3 to now have a chance to take a big 3-1 series lead at home. Or could the Panthers answer back, make it a 2-2 series, call it a best of 3, and head back home with that advantage, knowing that 2 of the next 3 games will be in Florida? Let's do it here in Edmonton for Game 3 after a big victory. It was a bit scary towards the end, but they got lucky with those penalties. 4-3, maybe a bit too tight for the Oilers. The Panthers now losing 2 straight. Let's see what fire they have in them. Game 4. First period, 1-0 Oilers early. It's Ryan Nugent-Hopkins scoring with 55 seconds left in the first period. Shots 9-8 Florida after 20. 1-0 Oilers. Second period, and the Panthers answer back. Sam Bennett on the power play, and 10 minutes later, it's Sam Reinhart, even strength. Shots 25-15 for the Panthers. 10 more shots, 1 more goal. They seem to be wanting it more here through 40 minutes, but it's still only a very slim 1-goal lead. Make it, though, 2 now, as 16 seconds in, Tarasenko, who opened up Game 1, gets a big goal in Game 3, as 4 now, and Carter Verhaeghe makes it 4-1. It's a 3-goal lead for the Panthers halfway through this third period. Could the Oilers answer back? At home, a bit of an embarrassing show towards the end of this one, and the Panthers will tie this series 2 games apiece. Then we're going to lose 3 in a row. Shots end tied at 30, but Sergei Bobrovsky puts on that show from Game 1 once again, giving him first-star honors. Reinhart and Verhaeghe with a goal and an assist apiece as well. 4-1 Panthers win, and it's a 2-2 series headed back to Florida for game number 5. 6 assists in 4 games for Anton Lundell, leading the Stanley Cup Final in points so far. Let's do it for game 5 now in Florida, as they looked good on home ice, but they lost back. Hold on, there's the first shot of the game going in from Carter Verhaeghe. Game 1 looked great for Florida, but game 2 is a bit shakier. Let's see what Panther squad we get for this game, which will allow one team to be 1 win away. First period ends 2-1 as Derek Ryan tied it up shortly after. Then Verhaeghe scoring his second of the period makes it 2-1 Florida after 20. Despite being outshot by over double, the shots 14-6 in Edmonton's favor through 20 minutes. Second period action now here in Sunrise, Florida. Second period ends 3-3. The Oilers fight back. Mikkola scores early to make it a 3-1 game, but the Oilers say, hang on a second. As it's getting to the final minutes of the second period, Dylan Holloway makes it 3-2, and then Leon Draisaitl with under 2 minutes to go ties it at 3 headed to the third period. Shots 25-20 for the Oilers. Whoever wins this period goes one win away from the Stanley Cup. Third period of Game 5 with a 2-2 series. This one's going to be exciting. Let's let it run. Power play Florida to start off the third period. Killed off by the Oilers in turn. Shots are now tied 28-28 when there was such a divide earlier on. Adam Henrique gives the Oilers their first lead of this game, 4-3 Edmonton with 5 minutes to go. Could the Panthers answer back on home ice, or will the Oilers steal one here headed back home? Yes, they will. 4-3 Edmonton, the final. Shots end 38-36, and the deadline pickup of Adam Henrique is the difference maker as the Oilers go up 3-2 in this series. Holloway goal and an assist, but Carter Verhaeghe's 2 goals, not enough there. A second star, but nothing more. Adam Henrique's game-winning goal gives him the 3rd star honors. And now headed to Game 6 back in Edmonton, the Oilers have a chance to win Canada's first Stanley Cup in over 20 years. 21 years later. Could it be the Oilers finally doing it after losing in 2006 to the Hurricanes? Not doing it since 1990, not even one other Stanley Cup final since 1990. Here's their chance to do it at home, of all places, in front of the fans. Game 6 of the 2024 Stanley Cup Final. Can Edmonton do it, or do we go to 7 in Florida? Let's see. First period, and it is 1-1 after 20. Lorentz with his first of the series opening it up. Then Dylan Holloway picking up where he left off last game. 1-1 after 20. Shots 13-10 in Edmonton's favor. Second period action, and it's now 2-1 as Janmark scores his first. A lot of depth scoring here in this game. Shots are 26-23. Only 3 goals scored on 49 shots. Interesting. Both goalies doing well through 40 minutes, but the Oilers have a 1-goal lead and are now just 20 minutes away. Third period action in Edmonton. Could they extend their lead, or will Florida fight back? They're leading the shots now 35-30. Power play Panthers is Matthew Tkachuk. His first of the series could not have come at a better time. 2-2 Panthers now into the final 5 minutes of this one. 38-35, the shots in Florida's favor. Final 2 minutes, minute and a half. Power play Edmonton, nothing yet. Shots end 40-39 through regulation, and the Oilers will have a power play to begin overtime in Game 6. Oh my goodness. I thought I got the home and away right. I'm sorry. But regardless, the Oilers here with a chance in overtime to end it on home ice. Imagine that. It's not really a big deal. I just wanted the jerseys to be right. I'm sorry about that. Huge glove save, Bobrovsky. And with 39 seconds going on the power play, 1 goal for the Oilers will win them the Stanley Cup. A goal for the Panthers will push it to 7 back home in Florida. It's so confusing with the home ice and the away. I thought I had it down properly going by the Vegas and Florida series last year. I'm sorry about that. It's just jerseys, not the end of the world. It's nothing more than that. Not actually any advantage that goes with it. Hyman, McDavid at the point. Poked away by Ekblad. Well done, and he'll clear that down. Draisaitl, he finds his way in with space, scores! Leon Draisaitl, overtime winner! And the Edmonton Oilers have won the 2024 Stanley Cup with an overtime thriller from Leon Draisaitl. Wow, in tight, forehand, backhand, ends it. I want to see who took that penalty as well. But the Edmonton Oilers win the first Stanley Cup by a Canadian team in 21 years. Connor McDavid gets his ring. Leon Draisaitl and other players have done so much. Zach Hyman, Evan Bouchard. Bouchard wins the Conn Smythe with 7 points in 6 games. I think the actual Conn Smythe would probably go to McDavid as he's already at 31 points. But Evan Bouchard takes it in this little mini-series. There you go. Thank you, Gary. You're looking good. And Connor McDavid with the C on his jersey. I'm sorry, all Edmonton fans, that I can't show it to you with the Oilers actually having the arena. I'd want to resimulate the whole thing just for that, to get the right team raising the cup. But I got to be honest with it. I got to be honest. Connor McDavid coming over. You know, you think about Mario Lemieux, you think about Sidney Crosby, you think about Wayne Gretzky, how long did it take them to get their cups? Connor McDavid was just pulling at the leash, going crazy, saying, I gotta get this done. And here he is, raising Lord Stanley. Chomping at the bits, what I was looking for. Raising the Stanley Cup the Edmonton Oilers, the first time since 1990. And there you have it. It's not perfect, not on home ice, not with the right jerseys, but you can imagine them. Edmonton Oilers, 2024 Stanley Cup champions. Snap a picture. It'll last a lifetime. Now this, Oilers fans, eat your heart out. Now this you can really see. Beautiful look, and we can get a look at the engravement as well on Lord Stanley's Cup. Look at all those names and just take it in, Oilers fans. Oilers 2023-24, Connor McDavid captain, and the rest of a very well-deserving squad. So, in the end, through that 6-game Stanley Cup final, Carter Verhaeghe, Anton Lundell, both point per game with 6 in 6. Reinhart had 5 points, Barkov with 4. Tarasenko, Lushrainen, and Montour all had 3 points. Ekblad, Bennett, Lorentz, Kachuk, that was a surprising one with 2 points. Mikkola, Kulikov, Ekman Larson, Forsling, Stenlund, all with 1. The only player who was pointless, actually, Evan Rodriguez as well. Ooh, that's a surprise. As Evan Rodriguez and Kyle Okposo both pointless, and then the game starts duplicating everybody. That's always a classic. Goaltending, Bobrovsky went 2-3-1. He had 1 shutout, a .930 save percentage. Bad luck for Bobrovsky, and a 2.51 goals against average. Over on the Edmonton Oilers, of course, leading the entire Stanley Cup final in points was Evan Bouchard with 7 in 6. No other player point per game, though. Draisaitl with 5, Henrique and Ekholm with 4, Perry, Nurse, Holloway, Nuge, Hyman. Look at these plus minuses. Whoa! Nuge, Hyman, and McDavid, -6, -5, -3, respectively. 3 points and 0 goals in 6 games from McDavid. The 97 overall. So just classic how the game simulates. I have no words. Kane, Brown, McLeod, all with 2 points. Janmark, Ryan, Kulak with 1. CC and Broberg pointless there. Goaltending, Stuart Skinner, definitely a difference maker. 4 and 2 was his record. .920 save percentage. And exactly same goals against average that he has right now through 3 rounds of 2.5. So neither team really had like huge players making the difference. The Oilers had 1 point per game player, 1 player with 3 goals in 6 games. Panthers had 2 point per game players, 1 player with 3 goals in 6 games. Neither goalie really did anything too crazy aside from Bobrovsky's shutout. So it was a well-fought match. The simulation, unfortunately, doesn't tell you the whole story. But we can see that the Oilers scored more and they allowed less. Their power play percentage went to the Panthers at 17.6 versus the Oilers at 11.1. And the penalty kill was definitely stronger in the Panthers' favor as well. It really could have gone either way, but that OT winner in Game 6 sealed it. Who knows what Game 7 may have led to. But the Oilers win it in 6 games, and there you have your prediction, ladies and gentlemen. The Oilers take down the Panthers in 6 to win the 2024 Stanley Cup. If you like this, you'd like a lot more of what we do here in the channel. Simulations like these, career simulations, multiple franchise mode series on NHL 24, MLB The Show 24, and much, much more. Real-world breakdown and analysis of the NHL postseason, the draft coming up, free agency, trades, breaking news, and analysis. It's a great time, and I'd love to put out more of what you want to see. So let me know down in the comments, what type of simulation would you want to see next? What content would you like to see? And we'd love to have you join the team. Subscribe if you haven't already, as we'd be that much greater of a channel with you as a part of it. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and let me know your predictions down in the comments. Could it be Oilers in 6? What do you feel like this series might end up being? All I know is that I can't wait to watch it. I hope that you feel the same. So thanks for taking the time to watch this in anticipation of the Stanley Cup Final, and I'm looking forward to seeing you once again in the next one.